first step toward musical freedom. The fact that music is music. And I never had this bias that you encounter all too often in the conservatory, that only the music of the academy, of the the canon, the classical
Yeah.
canon is
Yeah.
legitimate. And it's so ridiculous because I grew up listening to pop music and I was a dancer too. I actually had to make a choice between cheer dance camp and piano camp at one point when I was 14 years old, and obviously piano won. But still, I've always loved dancing, which means I love pop music and I love R&B and I love hip hop, and it's just and rock and just literally any style of music, right? So I
Right.
grew up appreciating at a high level all sorts of music. And so for me, musical freedom truly meant being like an actor. Can you imagine somebody saying to, who are some great actors like Denzel Washington or Meryl Streep, oh, you can only play historical dramas? No one would ever say
Right.
that to them. And they play an entire range of human experiences in their actors. And I see music as the same thing. I like to do an entire range of musical experiences. And if I'm hired for a particular job, I go and I study that music. I was on a television show called Noches con Platanito where I had to learn Mexican regional music and ranchero music and mariachi music. And so I went and I studied so that I could at least approximate, I'm no master at it, but I wanted to at least be respectful with the style to
Yes.
approximate it so that it actually felt good. And
Yeah.
so that's what musical freedom is for me. I can play anything. That's and it's a continuing goal because music is never ending. There's always a place to grow. And I love that. And so also with composing. So I love the fact that I've written a musical about an opera singer and was able to utilize my classical chops and call on the legacy of Schumann and Schubert and Beethoven and Mozart, and also call on my experience growing up in the church for the gospel side. That and co-founders where I'm able to tap into my side where I've toured with Stevie and Beyonce, and I've played in R&B bands where we would do hip hop songs, and also just loving the music and loving being able to dance to the music and having an affinity and true appreciation for the art form. And so it's exciting to be able to bring my creativity to that. And then my band in Spirits, Dave is a brilliant producer, composer, multi instrumentalist, and he's made a bunch of tracks that I would then take his tracks and I would write lyrics. We'd work on the melodies together. I would add piano parts to them. And so we grew this music together and we call it disco jazz. And it's absolutely so much fun to